Hi and welcome to my tutorial, subgrouping the Redrum and making a 16-bar house drum beat. So let's get started. Firstly, let's go down here to the tempo and I will adjust the tempo to 124, which is a tempo I like to work with, which is the tempo for deep house mainly, but for house can range anywhere from 118 to 136 BPM. But for this tutorial I'm going to use 124. As you can see, we're on the sequencer window here, and with Reason 8 you can just drag and drop any instrument in there. So now we're going to just drag and drop a Redrum drum computer there into the sequencer like so. I have the three screens already detached at the bottom here, as you can detach the three windows. But let's first open a house kit. I'm going to go with house kit 1 in the house kit there in the factory sound bank of Reason. So we'll double click on house kit 1 to open it. Now let's go into the rack. So now we're in the rack and we've got the drums here. In channel 1 of the Redrum we have a kick. Just turn the sound up a little bit there. And we've got a clap in the second one in channel 2 and a snare drum in the third one. I never liked that snare drum, I'm going to change that. Open up the patches here. I might just use that one, the Mary J. And then I'm going to use this hi-hat here. So those are the 4 drums we're going to be using for the house drum beat. So we need to create 4 mix channels now in the mixer. That's going to be subgrouping the drum kit there. So we've got individual channels in the mixer for each individual drum. One for the kick, one for the clap, one for the snare, and one for the hi-hat. So right click anywhere in the black area underneath the Redrum there in the rack and go to utilities and click on mix channel. Do that 4 times and create 4 mix channels there. And as you can see, if we go to the mixer now, we have those mix channels there. Now this channel here is the one that automatically was created by Reason when the Redrum was open. We no longer need this one, so we can actually just delete that one now by clicking on it and pressing backspace on your computer and put delete selected only. That deletes that channel. So now double click where it says mix channel there on the first mix channel and label that one kick. That is going to be subsequently wired from channel 1 of the mixer there as the kick. The second one, double click it again and call it and label it snare. The third one, clap, and the fourth one we're going to label hi-hat. So there you go. Now if we press tab, we go to the back of the rack. This is where we can wire them up now. So go from channel 1 to the kick. Channel 2 was in fact the clap there, so we'll go to the third one there, or that clap mix channel. And then the third one was the snare, so go to the snare mix channel. And the fourth one, sorry no, not the fourth one, we don't want that one. Channel 9 was the hi-hat, channel 9 to there. And when we tab back, now click any of those now, it should correspond to the right channel there. So if I click on the snare, you will see there that the snare is going through that mix channel. Kick there, clap there, and then the hi-hat there. And now let's go to the mixer, and what we can do here now in the mixer, if we click that kick channel there, you'll see it highlights blue. If you hold down the shift key and press the right arrow, you then highlight all of those 4 drums together and you'll see the highlight blue. Now what we can do, if we right click in that part there, any of those 4 will do, but go to, because they're all grouped together now with the blue outline, click on new output bus, and this was incorporated into Reason 7, this is Reason 8, but anyway, yeah, this new feature is the grouping of those there now, and you get a red fader, which is great. So that's a fader now for a whole drum kit, and they've got individual faders now subgrouped there for each individual drum there that we're going to use. And so, and go back to the rack a second. If we wanted to now, and we can add any effect by going into there. That's the insert effects there for the kick, for that mix channel for the kick, and can add anything we like to that. We could add some reverb if we liked, compression, EQ, phasing, whatever we liked in there. Anything. If we right click it and go to effects, we've got all things in there like screen 4, distortion, unison, EQ, compression, all sorts of stuff there that we can use individually if we want, and we can also do it on that one there, which is going to be the main fader, or the master fader. We'll double click on that there and call it master drum. That's the master channel for the drum there. So let's get cracking with putting the actual drums in. I'm going to put a drum on number 1, number 5, number 9 and number 13. Sorry, select the right channel first would help. So select the first channel, which is the kick, and then go 1, 5, 9 and 13. That just leaves like three steps in the sequencer between each one. That's what we call a 4 on the floor kick pattern. And if we run that there, press run on the Redrum, we have a 4 on the floor pattern there. Now let's go and put in the snare. In house usually have one on every other kick, which means the one on 5 and one on 13. And now let's run that. I'm going to move. I've changed the preset there, or the patch on the snare. That wasn't a very good snare in my opinion. So stop that by pressing run again. Now let's put in the hi-hats. Select channel 9 and go to 3, and then leave 3 spaces in between again, like that. Step sequencer, and it'll go. Now let's go to the clap, and I might start with 3 and 5, and then 12 and 15. I think personally that the clap sounds a bit dry in my opinion, and so I will add some insert effects on the clap to show you how that works also. So if you open the insert effects by clicking this part here, then right click inside that bar there, you'll see it highlights red. Go to effects and go to the reverb, the RV7000 advanced reverb, and with Reason 8, when you've got the screens detached, it always goes back to the sequencer, which we don't like. But anyway, click back on the rack, turn the dry wet knob down there to about 1/4 of the way, and then turn the decay down to about half, and now we'll have a clap that sounds with a reverb. So let's run that again. That's our drum. Let's go back to the sequencer now, and I'm going to move that to 16 bars, and now go back to the Redrum, and if I click anywhere that's not on anything, because if you click on any of these right click on any of these symbols, it will come up with, you know, automation. So when you click on it, so if you click on something that doesn't correspond to anything, just a blank area, it will now come up with this menu, and you put copy pattern to track like that, and then when you go back to the sequencer, there is your kick, sorry, your beat, all there copied into the track for you to play. So when you play there, you'll notice it sounds a bit strange, and I was thinking, what's going on there now? I realised I've left it enabled there. If I take that off, now it will just play and it'll sound right. Double click on the stop button there to go back to take the playhead back to the beginning and press play. Double click on there and label it drums, and then there you go, click on the mixer. You've got individual drums which you can that's there. Take the snare off. And we've got a fader for all of them. And I forgot to loop it there. Turn the loop on. Go back to the mixer. And stop. So that's it. That's how you make a house drum beat and group the drums in their own, subgroup the drums in their own mix channels on Reason 8. Thank you.